One second. Welcome back to your quick dating ministry with them today. This is number 30. This is number 30, 365 days, and I'm so blessed to have you here today. Today's gonna be it's gonna be like a normal, like a little, it's gonna be a little short, but at the same time, it's pretty good. So yeah, so the Lord challenges Job. The Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. Who is that questions my wisdom with such ignorant? Brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you know so much. Who determined its dimensions and stretched out the surveying line? What supports its foundation, and who laid its cornerstone? As the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy, who kept the seas inside its boundaries and as it burst from the womb, and as I clothed it with clouds and wrapped it in thick darkness, where I locked it behind barred gates limiting its shores. I said, this fair and no farther will you come. Here's your proud waves must stop. Now, have you ever commanded the mornings to appear and caused the dawn to rise? Have you made daylight spread to the ends of the earth to bring an end to the night's wickedness? As the lights approach, the earth takes its shape like clay pressed beneath a seal. It is robbed in its brilliant colors. The light disturbs the wicked and stops the arm that raises its violence. Also, you should have read. I forgot to say it. I'm so happy that we finally got some good stuff. You should have read through Job chapter 38 through 39 today. But he keeps on going on saying, have you explored the springs from which the seas come? Have you explored their depths? Do you know where the gates of death are located? Have you seen the gates of the utter gloom? Do you realize the extent of the earth? Tell me about it if you know. Where does light come from and where does darkness go? Can you take each to his home? Do you know how to get there? But of course, you know all this, for you were born. It was all before it was all created, and you are so very experienced. Have you visited the storehouses of the show, or seen the storehouses of hail? I have reserved them as weapons for the time of trouble, for the day of battle and war. Where is the path to the source of light? Where is the home of the east of wind? Who created a channel for the torrents of rain? Who laid out the path for the lightning? Who makes the rain fall on barren land in a desert where no one lives? Who sends rain to satisfy the parched ground and make the tender grass spring up? Does the rain have a feather? Who gives birth to the dew? Who is the mother of ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens? For the water turns to ice as hard as rock, and the surface of water freezes. Can you direct the movements of the stars, binding the clusters of the uh, thing, Pleiades, or loosening the cords of Orion? Can you direct the constellations through the seasons, or guide the bear with her cubs across the heavens? Do you know the laws of the universe? Can you use them to regulate the earth? Can you shout to the clouds and make it rain? Can you make lightning appear and cause it to strike as you direct? Who gives you instinct to the heart and instinct to the mind? Who is wise enough to count all the clouds? Who can tilt the waters jars of heaven when the parched ground is dry and the soil has hardened into the clothes? Can you stalk prey for a lioness and satisfy the young lion's appetites as they lie in the den or crouch in the thicket? Who provides food for the ravens when their young cry out to God and wonder about hunger? That was everything. That was a whole chapter right there. That was chapter 38 right there. And then he keeps on going, like God just. I ain't gonna stop, nah. Do you know when the wild goats give birth? Have you watched as deers are born in the wild? Do you know how many months they carry their young? Are you aware of the time of their delivery? They crouch down to give birth to their young, and deliver their offspring. Their young grow up in the open field and then leave home and never return. Who gives the wild donkeys its freedoms? Who united its ropes? I have placed it in the wilderness, its home is the wasteland. It hates the noise of the city and has no driver to shout at it. The mountains are its patient land, where it searches for every blade of grass. Will the wild ox consent to being tamed? Will it spend the night in your stall? Can you hitch a wild ox to a plow? Will it plow a field for you? Given its strength, can you trust it? Can you leave and trust the ox to do your work? Can you rely on it to bring home your grain? and deliver it to the threshing floor. The ostrich flaps her wings grandly, but there are no match for the feathers of the stork. She lays her eggs on top of the earth, letting them be warmed in the dust. She does not worry that his foot might crush him or a wild animal might kill him. She is harsh toward her young, as if they weren't her own. She doesn't care if they die, for God has deprived her of wisdom. He has given her no understanding, but whenever she jumps up to run, she passes the swiftest horse with its rider. Have you given the horse his strength, or clothed its neck with a flowing mane? Did you give its ability to leap like a locust? Its majestic snorting is terrifying. It paws the earth and rejoices in its strength. When it charges out to battle, it laughs at fear and is unafraid. It does not run from the sword. The arrow rattles against the spear and javelin flash. It paws the ground fiercely and rushes forward into battle when the ram horn blows. It snorts at the sound of the horn. It senses the battle in the distance. It quivers at the captain's commands and at the noise of battle. It is your wisdom what makes hawks soar and spread its wings toward the south. It is at your command that the eagle rises to the heights to make its nest. It lives on the cliffs, making home on its distant and rocky crag. From there it hunts its prey with keeping watch with piercing eyes. Its young gulps down blood where the carcass there you'll find it. Then the Lord said to Job, "Do you still want to argue with the Almighty? You are God's critiqued, but do you have the answers?" Then Job replied to the Lord, "I am nothing. How could I ever find these answers? I will cover my mouth with my hand. I have said too much already. I have nothing more to say." Whew. That's some good stuff right there. I haven't read the whole chapter like that in a bit, and that was good. I hope you enjoyed that. Not much to go over with, you know. He explained everything. But I hope you enjoyed this quick daily ministry with Devin today. This is number 30, not 39, 30. You should have read 38 through 40. So 3 chapters, actually. No, 2, yeah. Yeah, I hope you have a blessed day. I want you to remember God loves you. I love you. Keep your head up, and bye.